You can study in the morning, you can study at night. You can study outside by a campfire light. You can study with the rabbi.
Well, I'm back from AIPAC. It was a wonderful conference, and I wanted to share with you some of what I experienced, some of what I saw, and some of my takeaways. So take a look at AIPAC Policy Conference 2015.
If I forget you, remember right and forget what you're supposed to do, Jerusalem. If I forget you, fire not gonna come from it, Jerusalem. If I forget you.
This is Rabbi David reporting from AIPAC Policy Conference 2015, actually. So this is my first AIPAC Policy Conference, and I'm hearing a lot of what I would have expected to hear. A lot of politicians, a lot of leaders in the Jewish community saying what we all want to hear, and that is that the United States-Israel alliance is strong, that members of the House and the White House are supportive of Israel, supportive of the work that America has done to support Israel and the cooperation that Israel and America have shared. What I'm not hearing is any deep questioning of some of the major issues that we're confronting, both as a Jewish people, as supporters of the State of Israel. There's been a tremendous focus over the course of this conference on Iran and their nuclear ambitions. And while that is certainly an important issue, a fundamental issue, and certainly from the eyes of Israel, an issue that is an existential threat to its very survival, we've really only heard one perspective on how to move forward with the negotiations, with wrangling, with the big questions that we face around Iran. There seems to be a very unified voice here at AIPAC about how we should move forward, that we need to keep the pressure on, we need to increase sanctions if the plan, if the agreement falls through. And we really haven't heard other opinions. We also haven't heard any questions being asked about other issues that are pressing in Israel that I think should be questioned and asked. Questions about issues about Palestinians, the territories, peace negotiations, questions about the Israeli economy that is really struggling now. We haven't really heard anything about the upcoming elections in Israel. And so while I've been certainly wowed and impressed and inspired by what I've heard here, I don't feel like it was something that I didn't already know. I felt like I knew what to expect coming in. I felt like I knew what the message would be. It was a message that's familiar to me. Much of it I agree with. Some of it I question. I think that I've been hoping for a more intense debate to be happening, for more intense questioning about the status quo. That's my initial impressions. When Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke this morning, he gave almost no substance whatsoever. He really just spoke about the love, the mutual affection that the United States and Israel has for one another. We've heard over and over and over again how it's bipartisan, Republican, Democrat, and that certainly is true. I'm looking forward to the rest of the convention, the rest of the conference, and hoping that I get a little more substance and perhaps some more questioning. I do want to say to all of my friends that whether or not you agree with AIPAC's stance, this is an important place to be. This is my first AIPAC conference, and I've already registered for next year. This is an important place to be, not only to ask questions, not only to feel challenged, but also to feel inspired, to see the amazing innovations that are happening in Israel. Probably my favorite part of the whole conference so far has been at the end of our session, our general plenary last night. There was this piece on Israeli innovation. Just amazing, amazing work. So I want to encourage all of my friends to join me next year at Policy Conference 2016 so that we can, I hope, engage in some wonderful and motivating debates, and also so that we can be inspired.
בלי ברכה, בלי שם ורמז, שולח לך סיגל יום בזה, קשור בסדר.
In my last message, I shared with you that I felt that I was hearing a lot of the same message over and over and over again. How dangerous Iran was, and very little else. Oh, and also how strong the American-Israel bond continues to be. Those messages have continued, but I just came out of 2 sessions that really had a different side to them. The first was the progressive case for Israel, and that was with former Congressman Barney Frank and some other fantastic presenters. And there was some heated debate there. And one of the things that stuck with me, though, is that Congressman Frank said that it is important, it's vital for those who support Israel to also call her out when we feel that she's made a mistake. And he says that because we lose authenticity as supporters of Israel when all we do is rah and cheer for her, when we don't challenge her, when there seems to be something that she's done wrong. And the example that he used was Prime Minister Netanyahu choosing to come speak to Congress. That for him was something that Israel and Netanyahu needed to be called out about. But what I found compelling about his argument was not the specifics of Netanyahu, but more importantly about how important it is for our own authenticity as supporters of Israel to call her out when we feel that she's made a mistake. The second session I went to was with Ambassador David Saperstein, who was, before he was ambassador, for 40 years he was the director of the Religious Action Center, the RAC. And we spoke there about religious freedom, and I had the opportunity to ask Ambassador Saperstein the question about religious freedom in Israel, that it seems that Israel actually does quite well when it comes to the religious freedom of Christians and Muslims, but when it comes to liberal Jews, they don't do so well. That, in fact, there are a number of limitations put on liberal Jews as to how they express their Judaism through marriage, through conversion, and other things. And I was surprised to learn from Ambassador Saperstein that actually the United States, in its religious freedom, it's not a bill, it's a report, in its religious freedom report, has actually called out Israel a number of times for its lack of religious freedom for people who are not, for Jews, who are not from the ultra-Orthodox section or category of from the Jewish rainbow. So 2 interesting sessions that had different perspectives on something other than Iran, although I don't want to belittle the importance of that. We're now going into the next plenary where we'll hear from Susan Rice. That's it for now.
Get me down, negativity surround. I know someday it'll all turn around, cause all my life I've been waiting for, been praying for the people to say, don't wanna fight no more, be no more war, our children will play one day, one day, one day. If I forget you, I am not gonna come from me to Jerusalem. If I forget you, let my right hand forget what you're supposed to do, Jerusalem. If I forget you,
it's okay as you will see that we're bound to disagree. Don't have to see eye to eye to make the Torah come alive. Now that I've had my say, let's not waste the whole day.